Okay, so in today's video, I'm going to be surviving 100 days in the Amazon rainforest. I'll have to explore ancient dungeons, come across natives of the area, and many battle towers to defeat. Now there's one main objective for this adventure, and that is to defeat the Spectroid dungeon that consists of powerful mobs, and since it is the rainforest, there'll be many storms along the way, which includes possible tornadoes. Will I survive the 100 days? I spawn in on day 1. I instantly recognized I spawned next to an ancient statue, but I kind of ignored it and just went along with getting the basic resources. I start off like everything else by gathering some wood. I was kind of nervous at what animals would be down on the land, but I knew I had to quickly grow a pair. So I went down and started crafting my tools. And this is where I realized that there's qualities to each tool. And basically my wooden pickaxe was short. And after making stone tools, 2 of my items had bad qualities. But that obviously wasn't going to stop me. I had a mission here, and that was to explore the Amazon rainforest. Yeah, until I heard that and I came back down to earth. So I decided to head straight into the caves and start mining some iron. I even found a whole patch of copper. Came across some magical inferium ore. Didn't know what this was used for, but I quickly realized that I could upgrade my furnace with this, which was perfect. I can now smelt iron 15% faster. And just like that, I managed to get some iron armor and some iron tools. I continued mining after that, finding some lapis and some other special ores. Well, actually, they're called gems. And after that quick mine, I decided to head back up, but realized it was nighttime and I was not going out at night. I knew if I went out right now, I'll be done by day 1. So I waited till the morning and finally came out at sunrise. Then realized there was a big tower right next to me. I kept exploring and found this little abandoned house. I wondered who lived here before me and what happened to them. I started thinking of all the things that could have happened. That was until a panther decided to ruin it, and man did he hit quite hard and ferocious. I got a couple hits off at first, but then I just started losing it. And it got to the point where he got me down all the way to 4 hearts, and I was like, nope, I'm out. He growled at me, but I didn't give a fuck. I then came across an abandoned farm. This was quite interesting, but I was getting a little hot, so I had to go into the shade. And with the heat comes dehydration, so I had to drink some sour water. But hey, at least I got to watch this beautiful sunset. But with the sunset comes night, and I had to find shelter as I didn't have one. So I dug straight into a mountain. I stayed here the night, including making a new sword and new shield. Maybe this will protect me from those panthers. Morning hit, and I kept exploring until I came across this weird dungeon. I say it's weird because it's not really like a dungeon with mobs. All it had was a small little trap. So I disabled the trap and just took the string because I knew I could make beds with it. And after that I left, coming across these weird noise making birds and some leftover fossils. This will come in handy. And after exploring for a while, I finally found where I wanted to call home. So I got to building real quick as I needed shelter. After some hard work with building, I decided to make an iron fishing rod, and obviously fish. Nah, just kidding, I came across another panther and decided to fish this thing instead. But I got tired of that and wanted to kill it, so that's in fact what I did. After getting my revenge, I decided I wanted to build even more, so I decided to add a roof to my base. But after getting my revenge on the panther, I just see a sighting. Yeah, that was a ghost. I was a little terrified, so I had to calm myself down by fishing. And yes, of course, I caught some fish. I also wanted to pretty up my area. I had to make it somewhat look good. But right after that, yeah, I think I heard correctly. That was a ghost sound, if I'm correct. I wanted no part of that, so I went back to fishing to calm myself down. Now for the next 10 days, yes 10, I started off by making a big jungle tree in the middle of my base. Then I found this chaos orb, which I don't know what it was used for and never found out either. But here's the meat, here's the big load of stuff. I went and found a dungeon. And yeah, it didn't sound pleasant either. But upon entering, I was greeted with some cave spiders. my absolute favorite. But in all seriousness, this place was pretty nice. Nice in the sense that it had some good loot. And it had a lot of this loot too. But you know what else it also had? Tons of mobs. So I had to go around killing many zombies, creepers, spiders, skeletons. Yeah, you think of it, you can name it. And they were even using some teamwork to try to kill me. And I mean, look at this. This is only like a portion of it, and it's like an onslaught. But it wasn't all that bad. I handled it quite well. And it was worth it in the end for the loot, because you're about to see the loot is crazy. Oh, yeah, this. It's safe to say I got a little scared and accidentally pressed escape. And I really thought I was just gonna die, I'm not gonna lie. But managed to properly escape and kill them. Maybe it wasn't as easy as I said, but the loot here was, like I said, crazy. Like, look at that chest piece. And again, this creeper decides to try to kill me. But my reflexes are on point, but not as on point as this chest. Like, look at that loot. And one of the best things in this chest is not the diamonds, not the golden apples, it was the shulker box. I continued exploring and opening chests and got tons of more books that were crazy good. Tons of other enchantments and everything. And diamond armor, diamond weapons. And came across one of the best picks you can get with Fortune 3, which made life so much easier. And I wasn't even done looting, and look at my shulker box and inventory. But after a while, I managed to find my way back home with all the loot. I then decided to make an enchantment table because I just wanted even more enchantments. Obviously I needed a place to put this, so I decided to make a little platform for my enchantment table and for its future bookshelves. After I got done building, I placed the enchantment table where it belongs. And the next morning I started adding some bookshelves already. Yeah, I know, not the best looking design. Obviously bookshelves require paper, so I had to go and plant tons of sugarcane. I was done being at home, so I went to the nearest battle tower, decided to try to take it on, but dang, these guys are powerful. I don't know what they feed these things in the Amazon Rainforest, but it has to be some amazing stuff, because look at this. I want whatever they're having. And I was not ready for this, because out of nowhere, one of the minions starts to attack. And I'm talking about the Spectroid minions. Like, just look at him over there. I decided to try to take him on, but look how strong he is. Keep in mind, I'm in full diamond armor. I managed to catch him off guard and killed him. I realized that's a little too much for me, so I went back home. And instead, I started playing with these chisel bits. I started off just, touched around on a little rock. And then I had tons of bits from chopping down a pillar. I didn't know what to do with this mess, so I made a garbage can and tossed them all in there. For the next 5 days, I went mining, and I got tons of resources, including killing a live chest called a mimic. But I don't know what type of things are over in the rainforest, but I managed to get an artifact from it. And after this artifact, I kept on mining just some gems, some ores, until I finally went back up to the surface. And I got greeted with another panther, and I'm sorry I had to put him down just like the others. I got back home and look at all these ores I got. I'm practically set on gold, and look at all these gems as well. I then got thinking, I'm in the rainforest, I kind of want some pets. Anything that would not kill me would make me happy to have as a pet. And on day 27, I finally completed it. I then made a bookshelf, which allowed me to just put my enchanted books in there. Plus, it looked pretty damn cool. The gems I mined up, I made a green sapphire axe. And it was pretty strong. And it came in plenty use because I needed tons of wood for my base. And I finally got the foundation done. So from the foundation, I started building up on the walls. Just kidding, I'm weird and started with the floor. And I really wanted a glass floor because obviously I'm in the middle of the little lake and I really wanted to see the water. I continued by adding some pleasant touches to the area, like a little railing along the side, a walkway, all the way to the main little starter area. And I thought it looked quite nice, especially at night. This kind of looked quite peaceful. But 4 days of building was a lot, so I went on an adventure by starting to kill a bird. And this fox looked at me a little bit the wrong way. But I came across a nice big tree. And what a sight it was, it looked incredible. After that small little journey, I decided to go back home. But I had a reason, because I really wanted to go and visit the nether. I didn't know what to expect while heading into the nether. All I knew was probably going to be hot. Okay, that is one thing I did not expect. But I continued past that and started mining some quartz for the quartz and the XP. But then I had hyperthermia and I just had to leave at that point. But that ended up being okay because I proceeded to make an anvil and a gem finder. But I know you're wondering, what does the gem finder do? But it'd be easier to just show it in action rather than explaining it, but it is rather simple to explain. All it does is points to a certain ore color and it'll just show up. And one thing that did show up was another mimic, but I handled him with ease since he didn't really have a brain or anything. And here's the gem finder in action. As you can see, it just points to some gems, which made it easy to mine. And I'm not gonna lie, fortune came in clutch here. I was going through my inventory and didn't realize I got a cloak from the mimic. So I decided to put it on. It gave me a jump boost, but look at this. I look magical now. And with my new profound look, I went and of course I needed to find diamonds, and with the gem finder, it made it so easy. But probably the most notable thing from this trip was this chaos ore. This would make it so I can get supercharged gems instead of just the basic ones. So I wanted a lot of this and a lot of different gems so I can just have whatever type of weapon, sword, pickaxe, bow that I wanted. And as you can see, I got tons and tons of gems. And I really wanted to make one certain weapon with it. First I needed some glowstone, so I went back to the nether just to get some glowstone because I started heating up real quick. After gathering some glowstone, I made some of my first supercharged gems. But I wasn't done there. I needed to make some super string and some super sticks, which will allow me to craft my supercharged bow. I'm not gonna lie, this kind of looks nice. I proceeded to upgrade my storage and then even make some diamond ladders. Maybe you could say that they're a waste of diamonds, but I had tons, so I wasn't worried. I made this web axe which did a lot of damage and had a high attack speed. And finally I moved everything over to my new base and look at it. Looks kinda nice, I think. I wanted to test my new web axe, so I went in the battle tower, the same one as before, and tested it, and it was kind of good and easy. And I found a magic mirror, and this thing is amazing. It allows me to just teleport back home and instantly with no fee, no charge, no anything. But I went back home, made some more supercharged gems, and made an insanely powerful sword. It did 16 attack damage. But after that, I decided to just watch the sunset. Now, for the next 5 days, I went back mining. And of course, I had to come across another mimic. And I took care of him with relative ease. And in return, I got an insanely strong artifact. Oh, don't worry, I came across another mimic, in which he dropped another artifact. And I came across another, nah, I'm just kidding, it was just a chest, in which it had an infinity book. Yeah, I found another mimic and decided to just slay that real quick and got a whoopee cushion. Yeah, these artifacts are crazy. But I made it back home and made a reforging station, which allows me to re-roll the quality of my items, which was perfect because some of my items had bad qualities. The next 5 days, I went out exploring because I wanted to find the Spectroid dungeon in this rainforest. I entered the zombie dungeon and it got absolute garbage from these chests. But I kept exploring and found a fossil, and this was a big one. And then finally, on this day, it finally happened. I came across human contact. I wanted to see if they were friendly, so I started to approach them, but then they started shooting at me. I already knew what must be done, and I just started slaying them one after another. Until finally I slayed all of them until the last one, who was the strongest, and he dropped some diamonds. Finally, I decided to put this battle tower to rest because I've been to it way too much. So I head up the stairs to go and fight the tower's boss. And he seemed a little excited to see me as well. But by hiding a little bit, I quickly put him to rest. He dropped some pretty good loot, and there was even some good loot in the chest as well. It wasn't loot like the dungeon, but still it was good loot. But I had to quickly leave because the tower started crumbling. But that was no biggie, I'm like Usain Bolt. I went back all the way to my house. Now again, I went out exploring because I was not going to give up on finding the Spectroid dungeon. So I traveled for many days, finding abandoned houses, some dungeons, and even some leftover ruins which had like no purpose to be there. I didn't find the Spectroid dungeon, but I found the camp. Well, a camp that these little guys just chill and stay at. So I did what must be done and again killed them. And yeah, maybe I was being a little cheap by going to places where they couldn't hit me, but hey, game's the game. And just like this, look, there's some special ones as well. And there's only one of me. But after exterminating some, I look in the chest and dang, they have some good loot. So of course I just decided to take it. I came across an insanely powerful one which put me afire and stole my XP. And not only that, it would crash my game. Now that's some ultimate power. But for real, I kept on relogging and I just was done and just left him instead. After traveling some more, I came across this glowstone thing, but right over the glowstone thing, I found it. The Spectroid dungeon. Came up upon it and tried to mine a block inside, but it's not happening. I went by the front door to pay a little hello, but oh, these guys hit hard. I was just struggling with one of them. One. My goal was to just try to conquer this whole thing. And these are just the minions, keep in mind. I didn't know what to do, I just kept taking hit after hit, and look at that. So I sadly had to play it smart and leave. I was a little upset, so I made a diamond fishing rod and just went fishing for the next day. I realized I wasn't stacked enough, so I went back to the mines trying to get some more stuff. I even came across 2 mimics at once. And I realized these mimics were perfect. They were going to give me more artifacts that would make me stronger. And that's what they did. One of them even gave me double jump. I came across a mine shaft with some chests and it had some pretty good loot in it. But not anything that would majorly help me in my quest to conquer the Spectroid dungeon. So ultimately I went back up and just started fishing again. Thinking, plotting. I wanted to try out the new double jump thing. Man, it was really good. But there was no time to mess around. I needed to go back into the nether because I needed XP to enchant my armor. But yet again, hyperthermia was getting in the way and I couldn't stay for long, so I had to leave in and out a bunch of times. I had to take off my armor and I came across these netherite things, like nether mites, and I almost died by them. It was safe to say I was a little spooked out after that, so I instantly put my armor back on. And yet again, hyperthermia was kicking my butt. But good news comes and I started making obsidian armor. I really wanted this armor because a full set would give you resistance. Later that day I just started fishing it again. I went back to a battle tower and finally got this artifact that allows me to be immune from poison. But ultimately I had to leave the battle tower because I ran out of food and I decided to just make a small little farm that I never used after this. But after getting some food I decided to head back into the tower. But now that I was immune from poison, this tower is easy peasy. Oh look, a sheep. I went to explore just in case there's any powerful tools I was missing out on. I started with this little dungeon which had 2 chests, which had some golden apples, wasn't bad. I then found this abandoned little house that got overgrown, I don't know, but it didn't have anything good. Proceeded to find even more of these, I don't know what to call them, let's call them soldiers, and killed them again. I went back home because I needed to enchant. And yeah, I kind of exploited a little with this battle tower. Yeah, just a little. And then boom, he's gone. But in return, I did not get anything really useful. So I went back home and finished my house finally. It was about time. Not gonna lie, it doesn't look that great, but it'll do. But inside, I kind of like how it looks. It looks kind of nice. But never mind that, I needed to get focused on the objective. So I started enchanting almost all my stuff. With enchanting, I need levels, so I had to go back in the nether and get more and more levels. But then an ogre comes and ruins my party, but I put him back in his place. Now after enchanting, it was time to go and face the dungeon. I had to travel all the way back there, even came across a meteor. I haven't seen these in the past couple days, but after traveling for a while, I finally came across it. I started off with my bow, picking them off one by one. I slowly crept my way up, but their bows are so strong and do so much damage. Eventually, I started making my way in slowly but surely using my sword. But there are so many, I just had to hold up my shield. I had to bring the one guy all the way outside just to deal with him. And I'm telling you, if I didn't have this diamond shield, I'd be dead. Just look at this. Like, these guys are crazy powerful. I couldn't let them group up on me or else I was done for. But when I checked my inventory, I realized I've gotten a few of their stuff, like their chest piece, their bow, and some of the arrows. And when I went back in, I saw a helmet on the ground that had tons of durability left. So I gladly took that, and I knew I could not go straight in or else I was dead, so I started opening up little pockets of holes just to get at their feet. But I kind of pissed them off, and look at that. Then I took an indirect hit, and oh my gosh, my health. This is going to be a little harder than I thought, but I continued with my strategy, just picking at their feet. And eventually I snuck up from behind and managed to get in a little pocket of space. And from there I closed up the doorway. At this point I was a little scared because I did not want to die in the last few days. And in the back of my mind I knew this was just a small little dungeon. And look at this blaze, just absolutely wrecked my health. I kept picking at their feet from above with my bow, my sword, anything I could really get to them. And I managed to take out the spawner. So I knew I just had to kill the ones that were remaining and I would be golden. But this was no easy feat. I had to make sure I was not getting hit at all. And finally, I killed them all. And look at this loot. This chest has some pretty damn good loot. Including those enchantments on those axes. Whew. After collecting my loot, I realized that I actually conquered this place. I can't believe it. I was so happy I decided to go and instantly test out this axe, and I mean, look at this. I wanted to further test it, but on mobs this time, and this battle tower, I'm telling you, was the easiest thing in the world. They were doing almost no damage to me, and I was just doing all the damage to them. I came across Big Boss Man, and he was easy peasy as well. But after killing him, I realized this was the end, actually. Only the end of the 100 days though. So if you liked this video, please subscribe, hit the like button, and possibly, maybe, 200 days of this, or the last video. If you haven't seen the last video, go and check that out as well. But there's still a lot to do in this world, I'm not gonna lie. There's a big boss, and he might do something in return. He might not be happy. So who knows what to expect, but take care and have a good one. What the heck? What happened? Who did this? My base. My base looks ruined. My house is all destroyed now. Who could have done this?